I am so glad you are joining me. My name is Carrie, and I am going to lead you through a yin class for a restful sleep. So, if you have any lavender essential oils, I like to have that nearby and just put some on my hands, rub it in, take a breath. It's nice to kind of calm you down. If you have a bolster and a blanket, you can grab that. If you don't have a bolster, you're welcome to use a pillow, or you're welcome to even do this class on your bed in your pajamas. So at the end of the class, you can just slip right into a beautiful sleep. I've also included a link for a beautiful playlist below if you wanted to put that on to augment your class. So get yourself comfortable and we'll begin. Awesome. So glad that you joined us. Let's start lying down tonight. So get yourself comfortable. You can have your knees bent and just let your knees rest in on each other, getting your spine nice and long on the floor, maybe lifting your hips and setting them back down. We're going to bring our hands onto our lower abdomen, connecting your hands with your lower belly. Maybe closing your eyes here and taking a nice big full breath in and letting out a sigh. You've arrived, you made it to the end of the day. And just breathing all the way down into your hands. Allowing your hands to expand as you breathe in. And sink back down as you exhale. Giving yourself this opportunity for this class to unwind, to let go, to set yourself up for a restful sleep. Maybe taking another full breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And once more like that, inhale and exhale. Feeling yourself relaxing a little bit more. And from here, we're going to do a 3-3-6 breath. So we're going to inhale for the count of 3. We're going to hold for 3. And then we're going to exhale for the count of 6. So breathing in, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Keep that going. Inhale, hold, and exhale. And do 3 more rounds like that. Inhaling for 3, holding for 3, and exhaling for 6. And then bringing your breath back to its natural rhythm, checking in to see how you're feeling in this moment. We'll let the knees slowly go over to the right, holding here, and then slowly bringing them back to center, and then taking them over to the left, letting them rest here, and then back to center. We'll go back to the other side, taking your time, really going inside and noticing how each of these movements feel for you. And then bringing your knees back to center and slowly over to the left. Noticing how one side feels compared to the other. And then coming back to center. We'll just let the knees float down to the right. We're going to roll onto our right side, bringing ourselves up nice and slow. And then swinging your legs around, we'll come onto our hands and knees. We're going to come into our child's pose. So you can take your knees nice and wide here, sinking your heels down towards your hips and stretching your arms out. If your forehead reaches the floor, you can let it rest there. If it doesn't quite reach, you can always stack your fists and let your head rest onto your hands. So making sure your head is supported, making sure that your knees feel okay. Letting yourself relax here. If your knees are a little tender today, you can always take a pillow or a bolster underneath your knees, just bringing the knees or the hips up a little higher as you sink down so that your hips feel nice and supported. Breathing all the way up the back body. And as you exhale, just letting go of your day, letting go of all those responsibilities, letting go of your to-do lists, letting go of any stress or tension that you might have built up throughout the day. Allowing any stress or tension to just roll off your back, down your arms, back to the earth. Feeling your breath getting a little bit slower and longer. And while you're here, I'd like to share a poem by Zach Beach called Empty Yourself to Truly Find Yourself. Empty yourself to find yourself. Empty yourself completely. Tilt the glass of the mind over until all your concerns spill out and away. Detach yourself from the persistent worrier, the inner critic, the small selves you believe to be your identity. Use your attention like scissors, snip away at the worldly attachments of I, me, and mine, which keep you tied up in so many knots. Empty yourself so completely, so fully, that all is left is spacious, open awareness, revealing your own eyes to themselves. Empty yourself to find yourself and fill yourself with love. And then from here, we're going to bring our arms over towards the right side of your mat, getting a little side stretch, letting your head relax down again. Breathing into that space, allowing that tension to empty, creating more space. We'll stay here for a minute. And then slowly bringing yourself back to center. We'll come back over to the other side, resting your head down, getting a stretch along the right side body. While you're here, just observing your thoughts, observing what you are still hanging on to, what stories are going around in your mind, what things are you still attached to, and allow those things, those thoughts to release and to let go. And we'll take 10 more breaths here. And then slowly coming back to center. We're going to bring ourselves back up into table, letting the legs come back around. So just like we're unkinking a garden hose, letting those legs stretch out in front of you, letting that energy flow all the way down to your toes. And taking a moment, just sitting here, closing your eyes, allowing that fresh energy to flow from your toes to your hips to your toes. Beautiful. And then we're going to take our bolster or our pillow, placing it underneath your knees just to lift those knees up a little bit so that they're not so straight on your mat. And sitting up nice and tall, we're going to come into a forward fold here. So you can let your legs be a little wider. You can let your arms relax, your palms up, and we're going to slide forward here. When you get to some resistance, just letting your head relax down, letting your shoulders soften. Breathing all the way up the back body. And again, letting go of that need to control. Making sure there's no sharp pains, just a gentle stretch and pressure. Face muscles softening. And while you're here, going through your day and bringing to mind all of those things that you're grateful for. Can be the big things or the little things. So just going back over your day, starting with the most recent grateful thing. Doing a little day review, great thing to do each and every day. Finding all of those little nuggets of gratitude. We'll take 5 more breaths here. And slowly making your way back up, easing your way up. Taking that prop, your bolster or pillow out of the way. We'll bring our feet together into a little butterfly pose. We're going to come into a little side stretch here. So looking over towards your left knee, and we'll let ourselves come down over that knee, keeping this right hip heavy. So you might find you don't come down too far. You can always take your hands onto your knee, resting your forehead, feeling that stretch up the lower back, letting your shoulders soften, letting all the muscles in your face relax. keeping your breath flowing freely and easily. And with yin poses, we are targeting the connective tissue, the ligaments and the tendons. So allowing any muscles that don't need to be working to soften. Take 5 more breaths here. And slowly bringing yourself back up. Let's bring our hands behind us. We'll just let the knees come up and maybe take our feet a little further apart. Let the knees drop down to one side and then the other before we get ready to go to the other side and hold. And then coming back to center, bringing those feet together again. Coming into our butterfly pose and looking over towards your right leg and folding over, noticing how this side feels. You can stack your fists and let your forehead rest here, or even take your pillow and bolster, making sure that left hip stays nice and heavy. That left knee is heavy. Shoulders relaxing, face softening. Just being still here, allowing your breath to ease away any tightness or tension. And we'll take 5 more breaths here. And slowly making your way back up. Bringing those knees back together. We're going to lay all the way back down onto our mat. Feeling the beautiful support of the floor. Maybe bring your knees in for a hug. Just rocking from side to side. Giving your back a massage. And then coming back to center, keeping your right knee in, let's stretch the left leg out, letting it rest down onto the floor. We're going to come into a half happy baby pose. So grabbing hold of the bottom of that right foot. See if you can bring your right knee down towards the floor, using the weight of that right hand to ease your knee down a little bit more. Maybe taking your left hand onto your left hip to hold it down. Closing your eyes here. Focusing in on your breath. Allowing gravity to help you out here, getting that knee closer to the floor. Feeling a nice stretch in your hip. And we'll take 5 more breaths here. And then bringing that right foot over and holding it with your left hand. We'll take hold of the right knee with our right hand and just take your right knee into a few circles. And then the other direction. And then we'll stretch the right leg up to the ceiling, maybe pointing and flexing that foot. And with your foot flex, let's slowly lower that leg all the way down towards your mat. Nice and slow. Keeping your breath flowing. And eventually letting that right leg relax down onto the floor. Just noticing how long and lean that right side feels. So we'll see if we can balance this out. Let's bring the left knee all the way into our chest. Taking a moment with it near your chest. Breathing down into your belly. Then we'll take the left hand to the bottom of the left foot. Bringing that left foot up towards the ceiling and the left knee down towards the floor. Maybe the right hand rests on the right hip. Coming into our half happy baby pose. Great shape for the hips. So allowing the weight of your left hand to bring that knee down. Breathing all the way down into your belly. Softening your face. Slowing down your breath. Taking 5 more breaths here. And then letting your right hand come to the bottom of the left foot, left hand onto the knee, and we'll take that left knee into a few circles. And then the other direction. And then sending your left leg up towards the ceiling, flexing and pointing your foot, getting it nice and long. And with your foot flexed, we'll lower this leg down nice and slow, taking your time, keeping that breath flowing. Nice, long, straight leg. And letting it rest onto the mat. Hopefully both legs are nice and even now. We're going to bend the knees and bringing ourselves back up just long enough so we can take our bolster or our pillow behind us and having it crossways on the mat. We're going to have it coming across the mid back so that when you lay down on it, your head is still able to touch the floor. And your legs can be bent, your arms can be extended. So you want to feel this expansion across your chest. You can have your knees resting in on each other. Or if your back feels okay, you're welcome to straighten out your legs. If that feels okay. Or if you want to stretch out the hips a little more, you can always bring your feet together into butterfly pose, letting the knees open wide. So whichever variation works for you, making sure your head is supported, allowing your chest and your heart to expand. With each inhalation, just opening up a little bit more, maybe cracking those shells that you might have built up over the day around your heart to protect it. Allowing them to break free. Allowing the love from your heart to radiate outward. Allowing anything that doesn't need to be working here to soften and to relax. Depending where your legs are at, we're going to bring them back up with our feet flat to the mat. We're going to take our hands and take hold of that prop underneath your back and lift your hips. We're going to slide the prop down underneath the hips and then letting your hips rest back down onto the pillow or the bolster. We're going to take the legs all the way back up towards the ceiling, making sure your neck feels okay. Allowing your legs to float up there. Allowing gravity to work its magic. Releasing any fluids that might have built up in your feet. Maybe closing your eyes here and imagine that your feet are the top of a waterfall. Imagine the water falling over your toes. Feel it flowing all the way down to your forehead. Washing away any busyness from your day. It's a great shape to come into at the end of your day. Allows you to calm your mind. And then we'll slowly just bring our knees into our chest, bringing our arms around the knees and maybe rocking gently from side to side. It's nice to be on a bolster or a pillow. It just massages a little higher up on your back. Then we'll bring the feet back down to the floor, lift your hips and pushing your prop away from your hips, maybe setting it up underneath your knees. If you have a blanket that you'd like to place on top of you, you can grab that now and setting yourself up for our final shape. Coming into corpse pose, wiggling in, getting yourself nice and comfortable. Legs outstretched and eyes closed. Maybe your palms are facing upwards. Taking a nice big breath in and letting out a sigh. Allowing your breath to get soft. Feeling the beautiful support of the floor. Bringing your awareness down to your toes. Imagining relaxing energy flowing down each of your toes. Imagine that relaxation moving down to your heels and all the way around to your ankles. Feel it moving up your shins and calves. Floating over your knees, through your thighs, and slowly around your hips. Feeling your legs relaxed, loose and limp. And it moves up your torso, up your back, all the way to your shoulders, releasing any last bits of stress or tension. As it flows down each of your arms, over the elbows, the wrists, palms of your hands, to the tips of your fingers. Arms loose and limp. And it moves up your neck and across your jawline, feeling your cheeks sinking in ever so gently. Feeling all the muscles in your face softening. Forehead smoothing out. And taking this opportunity to enjoy this peace and tranquility. And you are welcome to stay where you are, taking as much time as you need. May you all have a wonderful, restful sleep. Namaste.